Hey everyone, this is Phoneybeetlemaniacxs, and this is going to be a response to Griffin9857's. This is a video I've only just come across, so I'm going to upload it and then respond as she does. Now, for those who don't know, I am a huge person who hates the Pagan Parrarel things because it destroys what we know about paganism and is inaccurate to history. So this is why I do it. It's for the same reason that you atheists go after creationists. You know, it's unfactual. It's something that needs to be done. So I'm gonna go after her right now.
Hey guys, I was wondering if I could play a game with you. So anyway, let's get on to it, shall we? Okay, in this video, I'll test your knowledge on who was born of a virgin. It should be pretty straightforward and simple. Are you ready? Okay, to start off with, can you tell me who this person is? Born on December 25th to a virgin, later sacrificed himself to save mankind from eternal damnation. He died at Easter from crucifixion, descended into the underworld for 3 days, rose again on Easter Sunday. He is commemorated by followers symbolically eating his flesh through bread and wearing his image of being crucified. Can you tell me who he is? I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, time's up. His name is Atheist, and he's a god from Asia Minor. Now, that was probably a little bit hard. Probably a little bit...
Atheist wasn't crucified, though, was he born of a virgin? Those things are wrong. If you look at, for example, comparative religion from the last 20 years, again, Atheist is not somebody I really know about, but again, I can put you towards, for example, more historical looks on that religion. Nobody says he was crucified because again, crucifixion wasn't in that part of the world at that time. Crucifixion started off in Persia, when Babylon. Then when the Romans conquered those parts of the world, they were taken from there. So the idea of being in Asia Minor has no meaning to it, and he was not virgin born. He had, I think, his mother had sex with a god, and that's how he was born. She may have been unknown to man, but again, virgin just means maiden, it doesn't mean what it now means. So, wrong.
Obscure, but okay. Can you guess who this guy is? Now, this guy was worshipped in Jerusalem in the 1st century and was known as the Son of God. The Creator impregnated his mother by magic. Like Atheist, his flesh and blood were eaten in the form of bread and wine by believers to celebrate his birth on December 25th. He healed, saved your soul, and was into eternal love. He also had a star appear overhead when he was born. Do you know yet? I'll give you another few seconds. You have to excuse me, I've got the headphones, got playing Pink Floyd, that's why I'm doing a bit of a dance, but anyway, you've had enough time. Okay, his name? Dionysus. Now, he was the son of Zeus. It's also interesting to note that the people worshipping Zeus and all the other gods were the Romans, and what were the Romans in charge of in the 1st century? Israel and Judea.
Dionysus wasn't born a virgin. The idea of Zeus and virgin birth is laughable. Zeus is the god that got more tail than Tiger Woods or Charlie Sheen. I mean, the word virgin birth as Zeus is an oxymoron. For example, he wasn't crucified, he was the god of wine. So the only thing that may have been true that he turned water into wine because he was the god of wine. However, there was no bread eaten. He wasn't a teacher. He was not called King of Kings, though he was called the Son of God. There's no Greco-Roman scholar that says he was. This sort of stuff is from the 19th century and therefore should not be taken seriously by anybody. But let's continue.
Okay, so that may have escaped you. Fair enough. Okay, who's this guy then? This should be easy. This guy was called the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, and God of Gods, blah blah blah. He is the resurrection and the life and the Good Shepherd. 3 wise men also announced his birth. His follows 8 cakes of wheat as a symbol of his body, and he was worshipped in Judea in the 1st century. Who is he? I'll give you another few seconds to think of who he might be. Alright, all done. Okay, his name? Osiris. Now, he was largely resurrected, but unfortunately he had a significant part of his anatomy that wasn't. Poor guy. So I think we just might move on, shall we?
It's funny how you could be right and wrong at the same time. Yes, there was a certain part of his mortality, but he was not resurrected. They tried to resurrect him, but he didn't. But again, this comes from somebody who doesn't understand the ancient Egyptian religion. You see, because you see, gods were not always associated with one part. And plus, he wasn't resurrected. He didn't have 3 followers. He was not called the king of all gods. He was not called any of that. What he was a representation of the pharaoh. That's what all these gods represented, was the new dynasty. Now, if you had no understanding of Egyptian religion at all, you wouldn't understand that, which of course you don't. And of course, again, I'm going to post links to Egyptologists who agree with me. Now, the bit of truth is that they did eat wheat because I think Osiris was a god of fertility. So, and that isn't just human fertility; the fertility is in the land. So people did eat his bread, but that has nothing to do with where that comes from in Christianity at all. So let's continue.
Anyway, he was also worshipped quite extensively in Israel and Judea as well. By who? The Romans. Okay. So the others are probably a little bit difficult. So lastly, who is this guy? Born on December 25th to a virgin, cast out demons, cured people, and walked on water. He died to save humanity, rose from the dead, and ascended into heaven. He will return one day to judge the world. His kingdom will never end. Do you know who he is? I'll give you yet another few seconds to try and, see who this person is. Okay, enough time. This god is Mithra. Now, this is where Christianity took most of its beliefs from. He is known as the unbeatable sun, warred on humanity's behalf. He also died and rose again. He comes complete with 12 apostles, one last supper, some wise men, and some shepherds with their animals, batteries not included. So, as you can clearly see, Christianity is a completely plagiarized religion with nothing new to add to the plate.
Wrong. Again, there are 3 different types of Mithra. There are Mithraism. There is the Persian god Mithra. There is the middle god Mithra, who was an angel of sorts in the religion of the Babylonians after they took Persia. And then there was a Roman mystery cult of Dionysus, of Mithraism. They're all different things. Now, nowhere was he called the King of Kings. Nowhere was he resurrected. Nowhere was he done any of that. He didn't have 12 disciples. He didn't have any of that sort of stuff. It's all baloney. Now, the stuff you're going with is from somebody called Frank Kumon, who is to Roman mysteryism what Ray Comfort is to biology. He didn't understand what he was talking about. Christianity did not take its beliefs from Mithraism, it took it from Judaism. That's why there was no Last Supper, there was none of this stuff. The religion of Mithraism in Persia, the original one, we don't really know that enough about, because all we have is iconography. So you might be right. Again, I can't say, oh, you're wrong for definite, but again, you'd have to prove that you're right, because again, me and all the other experts in the field, and I don't class myself an expert, do not know about Mithraism, okay? Especially when it refers to them. When it comes to Zoroastrianism, he was like another god with 2 others who became sort of a judgmental trio who would look down on mankind and make sure they're doing right stuff. Again, I might be wrong because all we have is iconography. Now, what we do know about is the Mithraistic cult of the Roman mystery religion, because it's very much taken for Perseus and him killing the bull from that religion. Now, Catholics did pull me up on this, so what I'll do is I'll leave a link to David Ullansey, who knows more than I will ever know about the Roman mystery religion of it, and its ties to the recent, at the time, understanding of the zodiac. Now, again, I've not said anything here that I can't prove. I can prove everything I've said. I can look you to Egyptologist. The book I would recommend for Egyptology is The Secret Law of Egypt and its cultural ties to the West. I would recommend that by Kerry Horning. As I said, David Ullansey. There's a book about ancient astrology which I could lend you if you wanted. I'd even recommend Johnson Z. Smith. He's probably one of the best writers on comparative religion in the last 70 years. This isn't something we can argue. This is just plain fact that this stuff was from the 19th century and had no basis in facts whatsoever. And this is not an atheist-theist argument. This is facts versus made-up stuff from the 19th century.